Everyone. Damien Lillard and the Portland Trailblazers need some help, right? The Portland Trailblazers essentially got rid of their entire roster in order to start the rebuild, or retool rather, around Damien Lillard to hopefully contend and keep him around for the long haul, right? Damien Lillard has not expressed any concerns or thoughts of leaving, but you got to imagine he's not getting any younger. Sooner or later, he's going to just be fed up and just say, okay, it's time for me to go. I'm giving you an opportunity. And this kind of seems like the Portland Trailblazers' last real chance to prove to Lillard that we want to contend. We want to build a contender around you. So just hang tight. We're going to make this happen. And of course, with that, there's tons of speculations and rumors on which players are going to come to Portland to team up with Damien Lillard. Obviously, they got rid of CJ McCollum. They traded Covington. I mean, they gutted their entire roster, accumulated all of these assets, cap space, things like that, to go get several key pieces to build a legit team around Damien Lillard. And of course, Damien Lillard, there's a lot of questions for this upcoming season. How is he going to perform? How is he going to hold up given, the last year he was injured, took the season off, stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see what develops with the Blazers roster, but also Damien Lillard. Another thing is that the Portland Trailblazers have the number 7 draft pick. And with that, there is a report going around that the Portland Trailblazers are trying to move the number 7 pick in order to get a solid asset, which makes sense, right? Damien Lillard, he's in his 30s. He's not somebody that's 23 where you're trying to build a team over the long haul, right? So that 7th pick, especially in this draft, is not going to be that huge, not going to be that significant. You're very likely not going to get a guy that's going to help contend today, which Damien Lillard needs. So you use that asset to go get a guy that really can. And the rumor for the number 7 pick in a trade is John Collins from the Atlanta Hawks. Now, right off the bat, I have no idea why the Atlanta Hawks seem so determined to get rid of John Collins. I mean, John Collins is a great, solid player. I mean, the dude is a 2010 guy. The guy could be easily probably a 25 and 12 guy in reality if he's in the right situation, gets the ball enough, things like that. And he's a solid fit in Atlanta. Like, it's not like he's a liability out there. It's not like he's, holding back the Atlanta Hawks or anything like that. But Atlanta just seems so determined to move off of John Collins. And if the Portland Trailblazers can trade the number 7 pick for John Collins, I mean, you do that right now, right? If this report is real, that Atlanta and Portland are talking potentially swapping, the number 7 for John Collins, I mean, if you're Portland, you got to do it. Because that's a guy that could help you contend immediately with Damien Lillard. Now, obviously, you're going to need more than Collins and Lillard, which you'd still have plenty of cap space. You still have plenty of assets. You still have plenty of things to go get pieces you need. You could still go get a Jeremy Grant if you want. And now you have Lillard, Grant, and Collins. I mean, that's a great start, right? Yeah, you have guys that could play multiple positions, guard multiple positions, things like that. That would be huge for the Portland Trailblazers. But sticking with John Collins, I would imagine it's going to be more than just the number 7 pick. Now, there is nothing as far as the rumor goes as far as like things attached to the number 7, but I don't just see like, here's the number 7 pick for John Collins, who is a proven commodity in this league. It's not a guy that's like fringe where you're like, he has potential, but maybe he's not going to be. I mean, we know he's capable of being a 2010 guy night in and night out. And John Collins is very young still. He's got a ton of potential and room to grow as a player. And I think if he's in the right situation, I really do think that he could improve tremendously. I really think that he's a guy that can really help a team, especially like the Portland Trailblazers. Seriously. I mean, think about it. I mean, the guy's only 24 years old. I mean, he's as young as like some of the players in this draft. Off by like a year or two. I mean, there are guys in this draft that are 22, 23 years old. So John Collins is a guy who's already established himself, yet the Atlanta Hawks just, for whatever reason, I don't know why. I mean, if you have any clue or you have any idea why Atlanta wants to move off Collins so bad, let me know down in the comment section. But in reality, I don't understand it. But if Portland, again, if there's any chance that they can trade the number 7 pick and, whatever else, something small to go get Collins, you do that. You do that immediately. And then you have Simons. You re-sign him. You got him, Lillard. You got Collins. That's a great start. Like I said, maybe you go get a Jeremy Grant. I mean, that's a great beginning. And then you could re-sign Nurkic. If he can stay healthy, he's another guy that is another 2010 guy. He's a guy that you can run your offense through, that can be a facilitator. I don't know. There's the Portland Trailblazers have a ton of opportunity. They have the assets, they have the cap space, they have everything that they need to build a legit team. The problem is there's not a ton of great free agents, right? There's nobody really out there that they can just go and pick up. I mean, most of the players are likely going to opt in, like a Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is likely going to opt in at least for this year, and then likely could switch teams the following year. So in reality, Portland's got to most likely trade to get some quality pieces. They very likely are going to have to make moves in order to get these solid guys. And I think John Collins is the perfect situation, because even if Lillard, let's say you can't really build a great, let's say you can get John Collins for the 7th pick and a couple other things, right? Or some other small stuff. And you have, let's say bare minimum, you have Collins, Simons, and you have Lillard. And let's say Lillard, you don't make the playoffs, or like say you get kicked out in the play-in or the first round, something along those lines, and Lillard's like, I'm gone, I'm done. Okay, you still have John Collins, who would be 25 years old, and Simons, who's the same age, that you have as your foundation to grow for the future. And now you have Damien Lillard's cap space to go get some other guys, maybe some young stars, studs, or you sign and trade Lillard to a team, something like that. I'm not saying that would ever happen. I'm not saying that Lillard would leave. I mean, he's shown no inclination that he would leave, but it is a real possibility, right? I mean, how long is he going to wait around? And like I mentioned earlier in this video, it kind of seems like he's at the tail end of his patience. Okay, here's your chance. This is your last shot. If you fail me, I'm probably gone. But even if he does leave, you probably recoup some great assets, and you have 2 young cornerstones for your future. And you still have guys like Josh Hart and stuff like that. I just think that if you can go get John Collins, you go get John Collins. That is about as good as it gets. But as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think about the Portland Trailblazers potentially trading the number 7 pick for John Collins? Do you think, let's sign. Where do I sign? Let's make this happen. Let's do this. What do you think about, do you think that he is a piece that would work well with Damien Lillard? What players do you want to see with Lillard on the Portland Trailblazers? So like I said, free agency isn't that great this year. This was probably the worst year to unload assets and, create a bunch of cap space, just because there's not many options to really make you a solid team. Maybe you can get a guy, maybe you could sign a guy like Otto Porter Jr., and you could get him, maybe pay him a mid-level at $10 million, something around there. And then you got him, you get a John Collins, you get a Damian Lillard, you have Simons, things like that. I think you're in a good spot. You go get a center, which there are a lot of really good centers, a lot of really good young centers too. So maybe you go get a Mo Bamba, and you have a John, you have a young core around Damian Lillard that is good enough to compete. But also, if Lillard does decide to bolt or wants a trade or something like that, you have a young core to grow for the future. I think that this is just a win for the Portland Trailblazers all around. And I think if you can do it, you do it. And you build this team around Damian Lillard. But again, love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.